Hello, loves. It's Sunday afternoon. I believe it's the 18th of October. I don't have my calendar in front of me and I'm all disheveled, and I will explain why in a second. And I am not at my desk where my calendar is. I'm calling this Sunday afternoon with Maitri video Getting Old Ain't for Sissies. You see this? I fell in my kitchen on Friday. I was cleaning up the kitchen. Next thing I knew, I was on the floor. At first I thought I broke my foot. It seems it's just badly sprained. But my whole foot and ankle and toes are purple. And they were so badly swollen on Friday and Saturday still. It's still swollen, but the swelling is starting to go down a little. I mean, it's luckily and oddly, and in the miraculous way things work. My daughter Rachel who usually comes over for dinner on Wednesday nights, and we watch a show. Our current one is Queer Eye, which we madly love. She was coming over, and she was going to spend the night on Friday because her husband and son, my son-in-law and grandson, were going out of town on a rock climbing trip. Just the two of them up in the mountains where they love. So Rachel was going to be alone, and it just so happened that she was going to come and eat dinner and spend the night. And I was finishing cleaning up the kitchen just prior to her coming. And man, all of a sudden I was on the floor. And I have feet that are so badly compromised anyway, because at one point, it was about 2004, I think, I fell down a flight of stairs. It was a steep flight of stairs. And I landed in the most peculiar fashion, up on my tippy toes like a ballerina, and then my feet went over like that. In the emergency room, the doctor said, "Honey, you didn't break your feet. You shattered them." And it was really, it was over a year before I could walk again unaided. And just about the time I got there, I fell and re-broke one of the feet. So finally, it was the better part of 2 years before I was walking around like, I'll say, a normal person, meaning as normal as I'm ever going to be. And then, after my house burned down in 2014, I got so depressed, and I'm not a little girl anyway, as you can see now. The ketogenic diet has helped and is helping with that a lot. But I weighed almost 400 pounds from severe depression and overeating after my house burned down. And I carried a lot of weight for a couple of years and developed a pre-diabetic state. And my feet developed severe neuropathy. I don't have the neuropathy pain that a lot of people do in their feet. Mine are numb. Kind of like you're standing on them, but you can't quite feel them. And I'm very prone to falling, which is why I have to wear this. I took it off. Vanity. I swear to God, in a 66-year-old, I wear this pendant, which is a fall pendant. And guess what? It will set off at all weird times just because I bump it and you hold the button in for 3 seconds and it goes off. I fell and I really hurt myself. And the dang pendant didn't do anything. Fortunately, I was able to, and this is the thing, when I fall, if I am all the way on the floor, I cannot get up. From breaking my feet more than once and the neuropathy, if I am down, I cannot push up with my feet. I'm in my cozy room now, which is next to my studio. I call it the cozy room. And I am in my great big oversized recliner. And there are 3 steps from the kitchen down into the cozy room with heavy oak railings on both sides. The only way that I could get up was to scoot across the floor till I got to the stairs, so I could put my good foot, weight on my good foot, hang on to the railings for dear life and get up. And I barely got up, and I made it to the chair just inside the kitchen. And very shortly thereafter, Rachel came. The timing was miraculous. But I was a mess. I was in so much pain. And I mean, just Rachel shot into gear, taking action with everything. And the other factor that was really a help is that Rachel's husband, Jeremy, my son-in-law, who was out of town with Lucas, my 16-year-old grandson, was still, of course, reachable by phone. And Rachel texted back and forth with him, told him what happened, what shape my foot was in, because he's a physical therapist, a doctor of physical therapy. So, he said, if she can't put her weight on it, you need to get her someplace for x-rays. If she can put weight on it, there's probably no breaks. And I've had broken feet. I kind of know broken feet. It was, I'm sure, a very bad sprain. And I mean very bad. I think I must have twisted my foot as I fell, because all down the front of my foot, like the web of your toes and on up, very purple. The outside of my ankle, where your ankle bone is, it hurts so bad. It just takes my breath away if somebody touches it. Well, Rachel and I were already doing arnica and ice and keeping the foot elevated, and took ibuprofen, and just FYI, here is something that Jeremy said that I would never have I've never heard of this before, but he said, after it's been elevated on ice, and when you're able, it is good to just get up and move around a little bit. And that sounds counterintuitive to me, because you think you want to just completely stay off the foot, and the foot feels like it wishes you would stay off of it. But the first day I couldn't hardly, the first night and the next day I couldn't hardly be up on it at all. I was lucky to get to the bathroom and back. But by today I notice when I get up, it's very, very painful. But just going down the hall to the bathroom and coming back, it still hurts really bad, but I can tell that it feels a little bit better. So anyway, getting old ain't for sissies. And it made me think of so many things, because we fear old age. Most of us do, especially when we're younger. And even if you're a person that is not afraid of dying as you grow older, the risk of illness or injury is very real. And my life is limited in many ways because of my disability. However, I can still do so many things. Now, I did try to go in and record the normal way I do in my studio at my desk, because I have a big footstool under my desk there's a great big square pillow on it, and I usually, I can put my foot up on there, but it must not lift it as high as this recliner, because after a few minutes it hurt really bad. So I had to move everything, just scooching along in here, and I'm in the recliner with a pillow on my lap, with my laptop on top of the pillow, with my little tripod on top of the laptop, and here we are. So someone has said to me over the weekend, which was very kind, that they had had a discussion about me and said very kind things, and that I was so resilient, and despite whatever, I kept going. Well, it's true, because what's the choice? I'm going to be sort of chair-bound for a few days while my foot starts to get better. But there's a laptop, which was a gift a couple Christmases ago from a dear friend, and a comfy chair, and Netflix, and my little dog Molly, who is right beside me, and she's in my lap. In other words, she's right here, where she always is. So I took a tumble, and I'm managing. Rachel spent the night Friday night, keeping my foot iced, helping me with anything I needed help with. She made coffee Saturday morning for us, and we watched one of our shows, an episode of Queer Eye, and we talked, and then around noontime she took off to go do things she needed to do. And my friend Eleanor, who helps me at the house a couple times a month, she was here with me in the afternoon, and Rachel came back last night, made dinner, got me all set up with my foot all on ice, and she came back this morning and made coffee, and we visited, and we watched Queer Eye, and she even watered the garden for me. And yet, I'm okay. I'm going to be okay. But it's one of those things, when you get older and you live alone, it can really be scary. Not scary in the sense that, I live in a very safe neighborhood. I know all my neighbors. A big, hulking, handsome fireman and his darling wife live straight across the street from me. And he's been here to help me, and a few times with odd things. And I have neighbors' phone numbers who say call anytime. I mean, I feel safe in that way. But you can fall. You can fall and knock yourself out. So I do recommend, I'm going to have to call the company about why this pendant didn't go off. Unfortunately, everything was fine anyway. But precautionary measures are really important. I worry about when things go wrong. Like I can't change a light bulb that's on up high. My feet are very compromised, and I can't get on a ladder. But I can do my art. I can work on Maisie's book. And that's coming together and coming along. I have to put a special thank you here to my patrons at Patreon. Patreon? Because they are, oh my goodness, they are the financial support. I only have one tier at $5 now. I'm hoping to go up to a second tier if anyone is interested in November. But the support of people, I need the money, but their presence, the sense of community, the supportive comments, the kindness, all of you out there being with me on Sunday afternoons. It's not flashy, it's not Hollywood, it's not one of those kind of videos with all the bells and whistles. It's just me here with you. And what I want to tell you, if you're older, especially if you live alone and you're afraid, there are things you can do, like a pendant that usually works. That was a fluke. There are so many ways to be connected, and it's one of the reasons I started my Patreon page, because we are really forming a community. I do a 20-minute video every morning, 5 mornings a week, Monday through Friday, 20 minutes, called Morning Coffee with Maitri. And I talk about the art that I'm doing and the writing that I'm doing, and I share my art, and we talk about all kinds of things. And because I have been a teacher for so long, 40 years plus, I share all kinds of creative things, journal exercises. I taught a creative journal keeping class for 40 years, and fun art exercises. And really what Maisie's world is all about is showing us that within whatever limitations we have, and as you know, if you've been watching these videos, I, like Maisie, am agoraphobic. I have long suffered, lifelong, with mental health issues due to long-term childhood abuse and other factors. But I have a wonderful therapist. I'm on medication, and I manage. And I do the good work that brings me joy. And that's what Maisie's world is all about. In my art, in the paintings, you can see Maisie doing all kinds of things. It's in her house, but it's a joyful place. You can see the way that I have this angle because of the chair I'm in. You can't see the bookcases, and you can see those when I usually record from my studio. I was trying to say office, studio, where you can see the big pug picture over the fireplace and all the pink bookshelves and the yellow, sunny yellow walls. I'm all about color and bright things, as is Maisie's world. And even with my wonky, compromised feet, we all have limitations of some sort. And those limitations don't need to keep us from doing what we want to do, what we dream about doing, what we're anxious and eager and shy, but we still want to do it anyway kind of thing. And here I am with a bad foot up in the air and purple chin, and I hurt, but I'm here. By golly, I'm here. I think my hair is like sticking out or something. I don't know. I can't. It's hard. It was hard for me to get situated here, so I hope that you don't mind. And my videos are usually 30 minutes long on a Sunday, but I'm not feeling really well, and I'm in a lot of pain. So this will be more like 20 minutes, and I'll go back to 30 next week. But I just wanted to tell you that getting old ain't for sissies. Stuff's going to happen, and we can survive it. And you don't have to be old. If you are disabled in some way, if you have life limitations like finances, family situation, whatever, you can work with what you've got, and you can achieve your dreams. And you can say, damn it, I'm going to do that video, even if I look like a mess, and I'm in my recliner chair and not my studio, and the chair looks kind of wonky. It's just a funny angle because, well, anyway, I showed up. I'm here. We can show up for one another. That's what we do at Patreon. We show up for one another. I show up every day, except Saturday, which is my day off. I want to be with you. These COVID times are so hard for everyone, with no end in sight. So I wanted to do what I could from my own little world to reach out to people and say, hey, how you doing? I'm here with you. You are not alone. With all the problems the internet can bring, it also brings a sense of connection, makes possible a sense of connection that is downright miraculous, especially for those of us who are disabled in some way and don't leave our home. The world is at your fingertips, on your phone, your tablet, your computer. My community on Patreon, Maisie's World, and all my links will be below this video. It's a women-only community, and I have explained why in the earlier videos in this series. But all of my other work is open to men and women, and I love you all. And these videos on Sunday, my website/blog, again, link below, Facebook, I have different pages on Facebook. Maisie's World is a page on Facebook, and my regular page and a couple others. And Instagram, everything else that I do besides Patreon is for men and women. It's an open community. I mean, the Patreon is a closed community for women only. Everything else is open to the public. And I know that I'm yammering. I know that I'm not saying anything of importance. But I thought that somehow it was important, even if I'm kind of cattywampus and lopsided with a purple chin and a purple foot. I thought it was important that I show up. Because I guess that's the message that I'll end with. In life, just showing up as you are is enough. Be yourself. Be your whole self. Be proud of yourself at whatever age, whatever stage of life, whatever life circumstances you have. We're here together. We can do what we need to do. We can show up. I hope if you're a woman watching this, you will join Patreon. Currently, it's only $5 a month and a lot of content. There's a lot of content for patrons only. On no other platform do they get the kind of content I provide on Patreon. And there are lovely women there from around the world. And we're just getting started. This is our second month. So if you like these videos, if you would like and subscribe below, or pass the word or share the link, it would mean so much. It would really help me get going, keep going, build something that I really want to build. I want to be here for everyone who feels alone, everyone who needs a shoulder, everyone who needs to know they are loved, they are cherished, they are good enough, and they are perfect, just like they are. Purple chin and all. Have a great week, you guys, and I'm so sorry that this one is a shorter video, although I think my videos are really long for most people anyway. But again, if you would like and subscribe below this video, it would just delight me to pieces, and I'd be so grateful. And check out Patreon. Again, all links below, and much love to all.